Hello, Hockey World. It is Friday, the 13th of June,
I'm Luke Ravitz.
and I'm Eklund, and you're watching Hockey Buzzcast on hockeybuzz.com. This is the podcast that comes to you when we get some good information and get some stuff out there. And we are joined today again by the lovely and talented Luke Ravitz, and our college hockey expert, and and we're going to talk a little bit of that. We're going to talk a lot of the final and a lot of UFAs today because this is rumors are starting to build up, and I know that's why a lot of people come to Hockey Buzz in the first place. So I can feel my like sleep deprivation already kicking in, even though I haven't yet missed much sleep. But this is the time of year where that happens. Um, all right, so let's get right into last night's game first, Luke, because this was it's funny. I don't know if you read my article yesterday when about Picard or Stewart, but I wrote this article like, who would you start? You
Yeah,
know,
it's big.
and yeah, and I was thinking, and I wrote in the article, I'm like, my instinct says Picard. I think I would start Stewart, but I would give him a really short leash, and if they gave up 2 goals in the first period, I would pull him. As I
Yeah,
said, which is pretty close. They gave up three in the first period. They pulled him.
I
But
mean,
yeah, what do you think? What did you think about that move in general, like, and everything was and going on there?
yeah, I mean, obviously, I was a little surprised by it because I thought Skinner was playing pretty well. I mean, he made some huge stops there, and then two of the goals the Panthers scored were also on the power play, and the
Yeah,
other was just a bad turnover by the defenseman and bad positioning. So, I mean, honestly, like none of them were really his fault, but
no,
it
they
was
weren't.
more of just like change the vibe of the team of a little bit during the game. And I mean, it helped you. Like they said in the broadcast, when the Oilers are down and Pickard's in net, the team feels a little bit more comfortable with them being behind and him in
Yeah,
net. So I mean, you could obviously tell. And I mean, they stopped taking penalties, which is crucial for the Oilers because I mean, past couple games, that's what's really been hurting them a lot. And they made Florida take the penalties and got a power play goal late in the or was it like early in the second period,
yeah,
first within the first 5 minutes, and then since that goal, they were just on fire.
yeah,
And really interesting game. But I'm not surprised with the goalie change.
yeah,
So next game, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised with either option. I mean, they're both playing pretty good. It was just like their own team was hurting them
yeah.
a bit. So, what are
I
your
mean,
thoughts?
it's funny. I think that when I first looked at the goalies, I'm like Skinner's kind of like a loose cannon a bit of in goal. Like he feels like
Yeah,
he's all over the place. He makes some great saves, but they're
yeah,
really unorthodox. Like the one save he made sliding across where he kind of like caught it off
unreal.
his side.
Yeah, it was off the side.
That's a weird place to stop. That's
Yeah,
a weird
yeah.
place to stop a one timer. Like you don't see that very often. Like that's like, but he
Mhm.
stopped it. I mean, at the end of the day, he stopped it, and to me, it was kind of intriguing to see him like he was definitely fired up. You could tell he was ready to go. He looked like
100%.
he was completely there. And like you had texted me like Skinner's earlier on. So Skinner's looking good. And I'm
Yeah,
like, yeah, he is. He's looking like. I mean, they can't ask any more of the guy, right?
yeah.
But the reality is, I'm sorry for having some issues. I'm on a weird laptop today, so I apologize out there for my first of all like camera angle you're looking at me, which is a weird. It's like a fishbowl view of
Yeah.
me, but that's all right. Um, that's what I get for leaving my other computer off all night. So anyway, this is and Picard, I was going to call him Picard, Star Trek. Pickard, Pickard is like not orthodox either.
No,
He's
no, not at
unorthodox as
all. They're
well.
completely different goalies.
Yeah, but they're both unorthodox goalies, which is kind of weird. Like I really like the way Pickard plays because that's kind of like the way it's like not really a butterfly. It's more of like a I don't know. The closest I can think of is like Tim Thomas, like from
Okay.
before.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
yeah.
that,
You can see
that
that.
plays that style. He's like he's but and that style worked for him last night. I mean, that save he made in overtime on Bennett
Oh my God.
that hit the
Oh
crossbar.
my God. Insane.
I mean, that was a hell of a hard shot.
Crazy shot.
It's a
And
slap
great
shot from like
play.
10 feet.
I forget who passed that, but it was under McDavid's stick, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was.
And Bennett just ripped it. And
He took a
yeah,
slap shot 10 feet out.
yeah. I
And
mean, 9 out of 10 times that's going in. So
so for him to get his glove up at all that quickly is really impressive. Like that he got a part of it and then it goes off the post, and that's the point that you start realizing that this is probably going to be like like this Edmonton's going to win. Like that at that
yeah.
point, I'm like, this is like that's what happens in overtime when a team
Mhm.
wins. But many of the saves he made throughout were the biggest thing that I thought he did which is really silly, but it makes sense. Like in this situation, like the biggest thing I thought he did was he actually like slowed down the game by freezing the puck.
He did.
Just
Didn't let
like
a lot of rebounds either.
yeah, the rebounds were good, but even just freezing the puck, like Skinner is not a puck freezing goalie. Like he wants to always move the puck out. He'll take the puck. He'll pass out to somebody else. But against Florida, who's like a momentum rolling team, like it made sense to me that when he froze the puck, it kind of like stopped
Slows
Florida's
down.
momentum.
Yep.
And that calmed everything down, in my opinion. That was like the smallest thing, but he just absolutely showed it. And I mean, gosh, this Oilers team definitely did show a ton of resilience for sure. This is
100%. I mean, when the Panthers were up 3-0, it compared to the last game when they were just Oilers were being careless, taking penalties, you could tell like it wasn't getting them again, and it
yeah,
was a different game. And in my mind, I knew the game was nowhere from over, just from the series and last year. You
yeah,
just can't call the game yet. And we saw once they scored that first goal, it was like, all right, let's just get one more, and they keep piling on.
yeah.
And eventually led them to the victory. So, yeah,
It was impressive. I mean, and they really like it wasn't necessarily it was Draisaitl. I mean, Draisaitl. It's funny because everybody remember the beginning of the playoffs. Everyone's like Draisaitl doesn't have an overtime goal in the
yeah.
playoffs.
There's
Now he set
four.
a Now he has a record
Yeah,
for four.
and that goal too it was kind of a lucky goal. It hit off of
Yeah,
Forsling's skate,
yeah.
5-hole Bob. But I mean, it's playoff hockey. Those type of goals are going to happen. And yeah, it's
Yeah, hit off of Mikola, and
oh, it's Mikola. You're right. You're right.
but the funny thing is, like, I got a text from my mother, like right before overtime. We always text who's going to score the goal or whatever. She's still like stays up for all the overtimes.
Yeah,
It's impressive. And I said I think Mikola. I think Mikola's going to score the goal for Florida, which just turned out to be ironic that he scored the goal for Edmonton.
yeah,
But I thought Mikola had an incredible game. Like I thought
been great.
he's very underrated. Like that guy. He's right on the verge of becoming something very very good. Like like you can see like he's getting his size. His skating is great. He's always has his size, of course, but he
Very
skates well.
underrated.
He passes well. Yeah, and he's gonna be like he's
Only
just like
making what like he's making like 1 to 2 right now.
yeah, exactly.
So I mean, he's going to make some money soon for
I
sure.
mean, I totally agree, and it's just completely it's fun to watch him in that situation. Um, Throughout the game, and unfortunately, and very unfortunate for him at the end, obviously. But that's just something that happens. You can't blame him for it. It's not like anything weird. How about the overtime one that almost went in? That crazy thing in front of the Panthers net.
Oh, with Skinner.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I mean, it almost went in like 2 or 3 times, and
The
Skinner
weirdest
couldn't
thing,
believe it.
the strangest thing about that is, I think they would have counted it. I don't think it was a kicking motion at all. I
Yeah,
just think
yeah. It
I
was
think
just happened to go off of his
it
skate.
might have been interference,
Yeah.
goaltending interference that may have gotten. But the weirdest thing about that is it first goes off his skate
Hmm.
and is like going in, and then it goes off
Yeah.
his skate again,
Again,
and the
yeah.
second time it goes off his skate, that deflects it onto the post.
I mean, yeah. Those are the type of things that are going to happen here in the finals. Those
It was
crazy
just this
things.
far, you
This
know.
close.
And if Edmonton had lost last night, I would have felt, oh my gosh, that would have been a heartbreak play
I
forever.
mean, back and forth the
Yeah,
whole time, even the whole
the
game.
the first half of the first period reminded me of like the Four Nations a little bit. Like
Yeah.
it was at that pace. It was that
It was so
unbelievable
fat. I mean, I
speed.
remember you texting me like, "This game is really fat," and like, I couldn't.
It's just, it's crazy. And there is a point at which you see this with the NHL players now that there is almost a too fast. There's this one where everybody's trying to move so fast
Too fast.
that there's some confusion and there's some things that they're not doing right. But
Didn't really see that yesterday. I mean,
yeah, not at all.
first 10 minutes of the game, the shots were like 12-2 or something
12
in
to
favor
2,
of
yeah.
Florida. So
Yeah.
I mean, then they capitalized, and I mean, it just shows you Edmonton's resilience so far.
It really does. And the big thing about this is like, so and then Florida ties it at the end, which is crazy, like with 18 seconds left, which I still think was important because they beat Pickard. Like if they hadn't beaten Pickard at all, if he had shut them out the rest of the way,
Yeah.
that would have really set up Game 5 in an interesting way.
I think Pickard would have 100% been the starter.
Yeah,
In that case. I mean, I still wouldn't be surprised if they put him in for the momentum. So I mean, and still with Skinner, like maybe they'll start him, see if he's. I don't know if you can go back to him now
I
after
don't think you can right now.
games in a row. So I think Pickard's probably the right option.
I think Pickard gets in now that you're not.
You
It's not
know,
going to cost you the Stanley. If it's not like you can be eliminated in Game
no,
5.
yeah, exactly.
So
So
I think,
they could always go back to Skinner for
yeah,
Game 6 if they really wanted to.
which I
But
think they will if Florida was to win Game 5. Like I think
yeah,
at this point, Pickard's 7-0 in the playoffs. Like
yeah,
he really, he
he deserves the start, 100%.
definitely deserves a
I'm
start.
thinking about it. Yeah.
Did you see that whole pregame thing? Did they show that on? I was watching the
It
Canadian
was like
thing.
with Skinner, you're saying?
Yeah, with Skinner and the other goalie.
Yeah. Oh, with the yes. And apparently they were talking about how last year with Stolarks they were doing it too.
Okay.
Side by side comparison, and I think Pickard just wanted to join the fun.
Yeah, Pickard went over there actually trying to break it up. He said because he was interviewed on Canada. So
Yeah.
he's like, he went over there and said, "Hey, do you want to stretch with me?" Like he said it to the other backup goalie. Like sometimes backup goalies stretch like together, and he was trying to. He wasn't sure what Skinner was doing. He's like, and he said, "I was like, I'm too old for that kind of stuff." He's like, "That's not going to be my. That's not going to be my thing." He's like, "But
Florida's backup is Vitek Vanacek, right?
Yeah.
So he so fun.
It was totally crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That was totally nuts. I was really it was shocking. But yeah, so we've got a Game 5 on Saturday and we've got a Game 6 on Monday, which is great. You know, more games better. You know,
exactly. A lot of free hockey lately as well. So
I know, exactly. Exactly. So let's go for it. All right, so let's get into a little bit of Penn State for a second because there's a bit. It's getting really crazy.
Really crazy right now. The past couple of weeks have the reports have really amped up about Penn State really going after McKenna. Elliot Friedman said that right now they're the front runner, and I don't know about Martone and Michael Misa yet.
Yeah.
But I feel like if Penn State does secure McKenna, then it'll make it a lot easier for those two just to come along, especially with Misa, his brother, joining the team next year as well.
Right. That makes all the sense in the world, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, we're going to see the domino effect fall real soon once McKenna picks his team. So I think right now, Penn State, Michigan State, and I believe BU were in his top 3. I think Michigan as well. So those 4 teams are the 4 he's going to be visiting soon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the talks have been crazy lately. I mean, headlines every day of where he's going. So if Penn State can land him, it will be so huge for the program. And we just did our first Frozen Four last year. I mean, it couldn't be more perfect for Penn State hockey.
Can you imagine like a team where you add McKenna and Misa to them? Like that's just like, I mean, that no college hockey team is right, exactly.
Top 10 picks, and then maybe Jackson Smith, who we just got as well, the defenseman.
Yeah,
he's projected top 10 to 15 pick as well.
That's crazy.
And I mean, a year ago, I mean, Penn State hockey was even we were ranked last in the right. And now we're a top championship contender. So
and you're going to be number 1. I mean, he's going to go in as number 1 for sure. If McKenna goes there.
So,
McKenna goes there. You have to, right? There you go. I mean, I'm just looking forward to coming out and watching some games.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come out and get, because McKenna's a story that I can, being a national hockey writer, I can cover that one and like because it's not just college hockey. It's like that's the NHL
all
too.
Eyes are on him next year. So
and
then I'm sure national coverage games hopefully will come to Happy Valley. I mean, I've been saying this for a while.
Oh, for sure they will.
Besides football, the Penn State hockey experience is second to none. I mean, it is the Roar Zone is unbelievable. Probably one of the best college hockey environments in the whole country. So, I mean, good stuff coming to State College. So very excited.
I can't wait. I mean, it's like, and I think it'll definitely become a national thing because they'll, Butchergrass and Weeksy, those guys are gonna say we got to go to Penn State, and it's easier. It's easier for them to go to Penn State than it is other places too. So it's like, in some ways,
I mean, it depends. It depends though. Like because the State College Airport is very small. It is. Well, you can go to Philly, Pittsburgh, DC. think that's it, and Chicago as well. So it's kind of a small. It's the middle of
Yeah.
nowhere. So, but still, I mean, if we do get him, it will change Penn State's
Oh my
trajectory
gosh.
forever, in my opinion. So,
Oh, it will, and I think it actually put college hockey on the map because
100%.
I think Penn State is. I think with him going to college, no matter where he goes,
Yeah,
it does increase it. But especially like a market like a Penn State or Michigan, either of those. I mean,
yeah,
in Michigan State too, as well, of course. But all of
yeah.
them can be like I mean, it's going to really change college hockey. It's going to make people want to watch college hockey. It's going
Mhm.
to be great. It's going to be
Big Ten
something else.
hockey is, I mean, with just NIL money and with
Yeah,
CHL players allowed to come. I mean, it's just they have such an advantage already. So,
yeah,
but then you do have schools like ASU, North
right.
Dakota, BU, BC. So like those blue buds. Maybe not ASU, but they do have that
Yeah,
NIL football money. So
right.
they've
They do
been
too.
getting
Yeah,
a few recruits as well. But it's great for college hockey, and I'm sure it's going to keep growing even more. Hopefully, some SEC or ACC D1 teams coming soon. That'd be great for the sport, and just grow hockey as a whole.
yeah,
100%.
yeah. No, it's amazing. All right. So getting into some UFAs. I'm going to be doing on my blog 3 UFAs/RFAs per day. Of what I'm hearing so far, and I'm started at the very top today because I thought I would just start with Marner, Bennett, and Nikolai Ehlers. Those
Okay.
three I did on my blog. So, but we'll talk about some more besides them. But is Marner the best UFA out there? Like this is a big thing. This is a hard thing for me. He's so when you watch Canadian hockey or anything, like I watch on Canada, I watch Sportsnet and TSN a
Yeah.
lot. When you watch that, it's like Marner's considered the best
Yeah.
player out there, and statistically wise, that's true, right? Like he does put up numbers bigger than anybody else.
Hmm.
But is he like the best UFA? I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah. I do think so. Just his
Yeah,
overall raw talent alone, and then his scoring ability and his just he gets points in
yeah,
the regular
it's true.
season. I mean, Bennett. I mean, I was listening to Spin Chicklets the other day. They were talking about whether or
Yeah,
not Bennett deserves 10 million a year. And Witt was saying how he only gets 50 points in the regular season, and then Biz was saying how in the postseason, he rallies it up, so it doesn't even matter.
yeah,
But it doesn't matter. And at the end of the day, Marner's the best player on this UFA sheet.
yeah,
And I do think it's worth it for a team to get him.
yeah.
Uh, and same with Bennett. But I mean, those are by far the 1-2 in my opinion.
Hmm.
And then from there on below, you can make an argument for other guys. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I do think he is the number one guy in this free agency
I
this year.
think so too. You always look at so a lot of times the teams with money aren't the best teams, right? So because the best teams are always usually capped out at times. So there is going to be more cap space this summer, which is
Yep.
good.
Was it at
But
$95.5?
yeah, 95. Yeah, so it does help. But then again, whenever people get cap space, everyone's like, oh, we got cap space, but you got to look at the RFAs you have coming,
Yeah.
or like for example, Anton Lundell in
Great.
Florida. He's
Yep.
coming up. He's an RFA right now, and
Yeah.
he's going to be very expensive for them because he's become a really solid player. But he's a third liner in Florida, where he's not a third liner anywhere else.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he was very underrated before. And then
yeah,
this playoffs, everyone's just seeing his pure ability to play make. And he's been
yeah,
playing with Ryan and Marchand, and they've been unbelievable so far, just a
yeah,
force everywhere on
yeah,
the ice.
yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to be just a name to look out for as well, too. But he's an
Yeah,
RFA.
Florida has so much going on in
So
this.
much.
But we'll start with I'll get to that in a second with Marner. First off, I wanted to say the team I'm hearing as a favorite right now is the LA Kings.
Okay.
Um, which LA is going to be big game hunting this summer. Kopitar is going in his last season, first of
Mm-hmm.
all. So this is his swan song. So they're going to go out there and they're going to try. They were good. They're a very good team. They only lost to Edmonton by a little bit. It could have been a different series, and I hear Edmonton could win the Stanley Cup. So the Kings are right on the cusp. So they have some money. They have the money, and and they want to do some major league large things. And Marner's one of them. I think. I don't
Do
know
you,
that he's the biggest thing, but so far he's the team hearing the most is Marner
have
in
you
LA.
heard anything about Vegas?
Yep, Vegas is on. I got my list. I'll
It's
bring up my list too. Vegas is possible. They like to
okay.
do this kind of stuff. Obviously, like
Yeah,
they've got a reputation.
I could definitely see him go there. Just with
Yep.
like the tax stuff, and just the talent they have there in Vegas. I mean, they're a
Oh
playoff
yeah.
cup contending team every year. Him and Eichel would be an unreal line together, in my opinion.
Oh,
Um,
for sure.
I'm trying to think. I think the Kings and Vegas are probably the top two where I think he'll end up.
Yes.
Maybe I could
Here's
possibly see him in Carolina, maybe.
That's on the list too. So here's my list of teams that I've heard so far. And this is just these. This is early on. So I have this system called the E system. So I'm kind of like E1, 2, 3,
Mhm.
4, and 5. Um, and the way it works, just to explain to everybody out there, is E1 is it's not how strong a rumor is. It's where I'm hearing the rumor from. So I did it a long time ago as a way to try to like make it clear like how good the rumor is versus like you know whether or not this is definitely going to happen or not. People have my phone just started talking to me. Sorry.
Mhm.
All right, stop it. Shut up. All right. So the teams I've got so far with Marner. So let me go through the E system. Sorry, I'm all over the place today because I'm getting texts and all kind of crazy. So I apologize. This is how I'm going to be from now until July 1st, Luke. All right. So here we go. The E system works like this. An E1 is I heard the rumor from somebody who's not at all involved in it. So it's not like the
Yeah.
team. It's not the team. It's not the player. It's just somebody who I trust who heard the rumor, and
Okay.
that's an E1. An E2 is two or more of those kind of sources. So if I hear like if I hear from three different players that aren't either on the team, aren't like good friends with the guy, aren't like or what have you, or an agent who doesn't carry him. So that's E3. E3, no, that's E2. E3 is one source that is actually attached to the trade to the rumor somehow. E4 is two or more sources like that, and then an E5 is a done deal. So I only report E5s when they once if they happen, and that's an attempt to get that out there before anybody else. And I used to be able better at that, but Twitter exists now, so
Yeah.
it's hard. It's a lot harder.
People
But
throwing it out there before you can even read
oh
about it.
yeah, but I had some big fives, big E5s. Even last year, I had a couple of big E5s, so that's good. So other teams that are associated with Marner on my list are Chicago at an E2,
Yeah, I have that too.
Montreal at an E3, Buffalo at an E3, Carolina E2, and Vegas E1. So those are
Okay.
the teams so far with Marner. And I could see Montreal would be fascinating. Like
Yeah, I mean the meltdown in Toronto would be hilarious to watch.
yeah,
So
it would be. And then it like can you imagine like the Canadians beating them in the playoffs next year with Marner?
that'd be unbelievable, unbelievable.
Sorry, that would just be that's almost too much fun of a story, to
Mhm.
um to imagine. So that's it. So let's move on to the next UFA on the list, which is Sean Bennett.
Sam
Um,
Bennett.
Sam Bennett. Yeah, yeah, Sam Bennett. Sorry, who's Sean Bennett?
Mhm.
I'm losing my mind. Sam Bennett. Thank you. Thanks, Luke. Now I usually don't talk. I don't talk about players trade rumors who are still playing in the league, but I do talk about players with UFA rumors because it's so close. It's hard and impossible to do that. So Sam Bennett is like a 50-point scorer.
Yeah,
Like that's usually what he does. Now, granted, he's on the second line, right? And he's on the
yeah,
second power play. You
exactly.
know, but
And he's also just such a playoff guy. And
yeah,
if you do get him, and you do make the playoffs, it's very worth it in the long
yeah,
run.
yeah,
But I mean, I've been hearing some stuff that Florida is
yeah,
maybe doing 8-8. Is that
yeah.
true?
I have Florida as my favorite for
I
now. Yeah.
think he'll stay. I mean, why not? Why not?
I mean, yeah, well, because some players like they suddenly get a $10 million contract in front of them, and they're like, okay,
But like, even if he does get a $10 million contract somewhere like that's
yeah,
not in Florida, he still making that 8 million anyway because of the
yeah,
taxes?
it's because of the taxes, yeah, and stuff like that, yeah, for sure.
So what's
Unless
the
depending on
difference?
how good his accountant is, right? Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, exactly. No, I agree. I think Florida. I mean, and he's in such a perfect fit. He just
Mhm.
this
He
is where a
embodies
good
that. He embodies
right.
that Florida Panther hockey.
He does. He's become the team. Like he's become. I mean, he could literally win the Conn Smythe and then be a UFA 10 days later, right? So it's like kind of like ridiculous that way. But he is. Yeah, I think he's gonna. I think they're gonna find a way.
Yeah,
But there's a lot of like I said, Lundell again. and there's Brad Marchand. They might want to try to figure out. And
Don't they
there's
have Ekblad as well?
Ekblad as well. We'll get to Ekblad in a second too, because that's a good one. But other teams with Sam Bennett, though, do have other teams on my list because other teams are talking about trying to do it. I have Philly at an E3,
Okay.
Detroit at an E4. So Detroit's very interested in Colin.
Okay.
Colorado E2, Vegas E2, Utah E3, Boston E2. So those are
I could
Utah's
see
an
him.
interest.
I could see him either in Florida, Philly, or Boston. I
Yeah,
don't see him in Detroit. I don't know why. I just can't see him
yeah,
in Detroit. It's
yeah.
a they play such a different game.
They
Uh,
do. They do.
so
It'd be a very different thing. I think that they'll find out. I mean, it's hard to like let the Conn Smythe the Conn Smythe winner walk.
yeah,
Like I just think that at the end of the day, and also the Bill Zito, the GM of the Panthers, is very quiet about these things. Doesn't really talk about what he's doing because he sort of goes from the school of like Lou Lamoriello. Lou Lamoriello was his mentor.
yeah,
So what you get with that is no information really about anything specific, and then you also get like this other side of Lou Lamoriello that is he's sometimes agreed to deals with players way ahead of time and
mhm.
didn't publicly put it out there.
Yeah. They're also in the finals as well, so he probably doesn't want any of the distractions.
Yeah, his real reason would be to keep it off because if people
Yeah,
know he can't keep Bennett, that changes everything else, right?
yeah,
So so if he lets Bennett go till July 1st or whatever, and but signs him right away, that changes like it just gives him a stronger hold on strategy. Like he signs Bennett now, he's really in a hole with all the other guys.
yeah. I
So it's
agree.
very possible, and this is just speculation. It's very possible that he does have a deal with Bennett already in place. Like that.
I
I know
could
they,
see as well.
yeah, I know they talked once during the season, and we weren't that far apart. So, but that's again, Bennett's stock has gone up. So
Hmm.
there you have that.
Big time this postseason.
Yeah, big time. So, yeah, I think you're right on. I think you're right on the teams. I feel the same way about Detroit as you do. It's really funny. I
Yeah,
feel the same way. I don't know. It feels like Boston. That I can see that.
I could.
Um,
Yeah,
Philly is either right person for Philly to go get. I don't know.
yeah.
Like
We don't really need a winger like that.
it's
I feel
another
like
winger. Yeah.
we don't
So
need wingers. We need centers and defensemen. So
yeah,
and
they're
a goal.
definitely interested in him though. They have at least talked about it. Then we're going to talk about the King of Denmark, Nick Ehlers, who just like became like a huge story because he was part of the Miracle on Ice for Denmark in the
Hmm.
World Championships, beating Canada. And he
Yeah,
was just like that was unbelievable. I mean, that story is as big in Denmark as USA Miracle on Ice was here when we beat the Russians because they
yeah,
never beat the Canadians. The Canadians were stocked. They were stocked.
exactly.
Crazy, crazy game still. To me, he is going to move on. Like he's not going to be in Winnipeg.
Yeah,
So
I don't see him playing again in Winnipeg.
yeah, so I'll give you the teams so far, and then we can talk about those teams. Okay, let's see. Where's I just lost it. All right, here we go. All right, Nick Ehlers.
I could see him going to Detroit.
I can see that too. Yeah, I can
I feel
definitely
like
see
he
that
fits
too.
their play style a lot. He fits
Yeah,
in pretty well.
I could definitely see that too. I agree. My stupid phone. I'm sorry about this. Okay,
And
here we go.
isn't he? I think he's projected for a 6 year, 6 8. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, six. They say 6 years, $8 million
Okay.
is a really good possibility there. I'm gonna have to bring it up on my computer here. So let me do this because I'm running it up here for some reason. So I won't see you guys for a second, but you'll still see me. You still see me, right?
Nah,
You don't see me?
nah.
Okay, hold on. Well, I'm gonna just talk then over this and give you the Nick Ehlers teams. All right. So here we go. Nick Ehlers teams are Tampa at an E3, the LA Kings at an E2, the Washington Capitals at an E2, Seattle at an E2, and the Rangers at an E3.
Okay.
So those are the teams so far with Nick.
I think
He
Washington's actually pretty intriguing. I
it
think,
is, isn't it? I agree.
yeah. If he ends up there, I think the Caps could. I mean, this season was really special for them with the
It was.
OVJs, and then like they were unbelievable in the regular season, and they just locked up their goalie as well. So I mean, if they can get him, I mean, they could be a true contender next year. What else? I know you said Seattle. Who else?
Seattle, yeah, this is Seattle and the Rangers.
Rangers. Okay.
The Rangers, we got to talk about this for a second.
Yeah.
All right, so this is gonna sidebar here.
Mhm.
Um, what are the Anaheim Ducks doing?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was really the thing. Yeah, it's weird, really
I mean,
weird.
it's not just that they're trading for these guys like these guys from the Rangers that the Rangers couldn't get rid of to anybody else, basically,
Mhm.
but they're also taking on the entire salaries of these players.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
thing that I don't understand at all. Like, so I mean, Greg Kreider's a great player, but he's a power play specialist. First of all, that's what he does the best. So Anaheim's got to improve their
mhm.
power play around him because the Rangers have a lot of talent on the power
Yeah.
play,
And
obviously.
the Rangers also got prospect Casey Terrence, who American guy
Yeah,
played with Erie. Just a really good player. Played with America in the World Juniors. Played.
yeah,
He was one of the few players in his U18 year who played in the world. I mean, the U18 Worlds that wasn't on the NTDP team. So that just
gotcha.
proves his talent. I mean, we'll see how he fits in New
Yeah,
York. He'll probably play another year juniors, or he'll probably play in the AHL next year.
yeah.
Because I don't think the
Probably
Rangers.
or in the AHL. Yeah, towards the end of the year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he'll end up, but he's a great player. So I mean, a good
yeah.
addition for the Rangers. It
And
sucks they
why
got
did
rid.
Anaheim have to give him up? Like this is what I don't
Yeah,
understand. If, and so I'm watching last night Elliot Friedman talk on the Canadian broadcast, and he says that the Anaheim Ducks are doing this because they are going to go for it. They want to make the playoffs this season.
I don't think
And
they're gonna make the playoffs this next, maybe
yeah,
next 3 years. Maybe they're like not that. They don't like. They're
no,
not a team that like just like speaks out to you and be like they're a playoff team. They're
right,
they're in the window. They're not yet. They're not there yet. They still have a few more years left. And to be honest with you, like this, like they have Gauthier and McTavish has been good, but like and
yeah.
Leo Carlson, but like I feel like they're not very good at developing their players that well.
Oh, they really aren't. They historically haven't been, and they're Verbeek's made some half decent trades, but like to me, like the craziness of this is like that. If they want to be there in the playoffs, they've got to have money to sign guys. So if they're going to really make a run for the playoffs, they should be signing UFAs that can really help them right now and long term,
I
not
agree.
putting all this money into Kreider.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like paying him $6.5 million. Like that's like why couldn't they get the Rangers to take half of that? Like
Yeah.
and why did they have to give a player up as well? Like all this stuff is like to me, it's
It doesn't make
just
sense. Doesn't make
it really
sense.
doesn't. I mean, there was nobody else bidding for Kreider. Kreider has a no trade clause. He probably only wanted to go there. He probably told him that,
Yeah, to Anaheim, yeah.
Yeah, or like maybe Anaheim or LA, probably he said,
Yeah.
which is like usually what people say. That's what Gosh, it's just very strange to me that getting back to yes, when we get back to the
Steelers?
Ducks, yeah, to Ehlers, right? So you got with the Ducks, they should be in on Ehlers, but they're not
Yeah.
apparently quarter wise. That's a player. That's the kind of player. Okay, like you're not in your window yet, like you said, but at the same time, if you want to accelerate the window, you don't want to just like try to open the window for one season and close it like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't
They
work
should.
that way.
I think Ehlers would have worked out pretty well on their team as well. So,
Yeah, and I can see the Rangers now because the Rangers are clearing cap space. Like the Rangers are getting
yep.
they're setting up for something.
Maybe,
You know,
maybe, maybe next year they try to
yeah,
go after McDavid.
yeah, that's possible too, and that's another thing we'll get to for sure after the season is
Yeah.
what's happening with
Yeah, the
McDavid because
talk's starting becoming crazy soon.
and if he I don't know which helps Edmonton more if he wins the Stanley Cup or if he doesn't win the Stanley Cup like with McDavid.
It's tough because with like any other player, you're
Yeah,
just you know what, I just want to win the championship. But I mean, you have the like one of the best of all time that's on your team currently with another top five player in the league. It's
yeah,
like you
right.
don't want them to go, but like you never know.
It's
Uh,
going to be up to him. It's going to be up to
yeah,
him totally. I mean, he's going to be UFA if he wants to be, and if he's not going to go there, they're going to move him. Like
yeah.
they're not going to let him go like walk for nothing because
No, they
obviously,
need something. They're gonna get something in return for
yeah,
sure.
you can get a lot, and there are teams that are interested already. Of course, in McDavid, the rumors are out there, but I don't get into those trades yet, so we'll talk about that soon.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, the Rangers just to me like are sneaky. Like they are up to something. Now
What's
I
with
haven't heard
Lafreniere? Because I've heard he's been in like the trade rumors as well
with
for some
who.
Lafreniere.
Yeah, he's been in the trade rumors as well. Yeah, they're not thrilled with him. They don't think he's like he's a first overall, but he's not like a typical first overall.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I know. I agree with you, but I think he's still like a tremendous player. I think
Me
he's
too.
very underrated. His raw skill. Maybe I think if he's put in a better situation, in a better area for him, he'll thrive more. I don't know which team that is yet. We'll see what happens with him next year. But
Yeah,
I do think he's like very underrated.
I do. I do
It's kind of the
too.
same with like Heischer a little bit. I mean, people
Yeah,
were writing him off, and now he's probably one of the best centers in the league. So I mean, maybe he just needs a better situation to thrive.
right. And was he sure? Talk about that too because there's a trade rumor I can discuss. The what I've heard is the Canucks are demanding either Bratt or Heischer in the trade for Quinn Hughes.
If the Devils gave up Brat and got Quinn, then as a Devils fan, you should be very happy with
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Even
he
though
should be.
Brat's
Yeah,
good, you're still not giving up your captain and
right,
one of the best centers in the league. So
right, exactly.
like Brat's great, but he's replaceable.
I agree with that. I agree, but you wouldn't give a Heischer for Quinn?
I don't know. I probably you probably would,
I think
but
you would. I
yeah,
would.
you kind of have to.
Right, right,
I
yeah,
love Heischer. I think it's kind of like he kind of plays like Barkov a little bit, where they're just so good
yeah,
everywhere
yeah,
on the ice and like they
yeah,
make the right plays. They're smart, don't take penalties. They create
yeah.
plays for their teammates. So
I'm
it's
with you
kind of that's hard
100%.
to find in the league. Those
Oh
kind of
yeah,
stuff.
I'm with you 100%. Like,
Yeah.
and but I think that you're getting one of the top three defensemen in the NHL. So I
Yeah,
think,
I mean, you can't and playing with his two brothers as well. So
but
that
then
doesn't
there's the other side of that, like we just talked about, like he only wants to go to New Jersey, so it's not like there's a bidding war going on
yeah,
there. So that puts Vancouver behind the eight ball a little bit, but I don't think so in this case because I think the pressure is going to be so strong on New Jersey to get him because of the other two brothers and putting that whole thing together
yeah.
that they'll be able to get a good deal for him. They'll be able, the Vancouver will be able to get good
No,
return. Like
I agree with you. 100%.
because it's just they're gonna get a point because and the Devils really need it. Like PR wise, it would be perfect for the Devils.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah,
That would
and they
be
need
the
that.
best situation for them.
And because when they sell tickets, it's a totally different world. Like they really need to. They have to sell tickets. I mean, immediately they'll sell tickets like with Quinn Hughes there, and with the three Hughes
Three
there, that'll be.
brothers. They just make merch for all them and the
Oh, all
whole.
the merch, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. It's funny when you look at it, how much bigger when you look at the three of them together, how much taller Luke is.
huge, huge.
No, no.
He's probably the most powerful skater of all of them as well, just
Yeah,
because of
yeah,
size and it's hard to get the puck off of it. I mean, all of them, but when you're that big and you can skate that well, I mean,
yeah.
it's hard.
And he's just gonna be better. Like he's getting
Yeah,
better all the time. He's
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 what?
he's
He
not
just finished up his third year in the league,
second year, second year,
second
yeah.
full year in the league.
Right,
So
he was right half year last year, yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, you're right. That's like yeah, and he's just people are like, oh well, he's like definitely not the best of the three. Well, he might not be the best of the three, but he's like
he's
really good.
still insane. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to be better than both of the other brothers. So
Right, which is another reason why Vancouver can like to never imagine getting Jack and Luke there because you're talking about like
yeah,
two franchise players. It's just
you're
you don't.
never.
No one has enough. No one has capital to do that.
Nope.
Um, So let's go on to Aaron Ekblad for a second
Okay.
because he's another guy
Yep.
that I want to talk. And he's the best defenseman available. Um,
And he's been pretty good so far. I mean,
oh yeah,
McDavid's made him look a little embarrassing the past couple
yeah. Well,
games. The ankle
he'll,
breakers.
he'll do that to anybody. Though, that's not.
Yeah, but besides that, I mean, he's really impressed me. Um, just I mean, his ice time, they've been just putting him out there.
Yeah,
And he's been great for them. He's been scoring, making plays.
yeah. He's such a
Yeah,
part of their
great.
power play. Like their
Yeah,
power
yeah,
play,
great on the power play. Great.
great. Like he's that they play that one defenseman. He's the one guy back
Yeah,
there. He's
yeah.
just like crazy, crazy good on the power play. And I know
So,
completely.
do you think there's any chance that Florida will be able to keep him, or do you think he'll end up somewhere else?
They thought they could originally, even from what I understand, like when they got Seth Jones,
Yeah,
it
they're kind of similar. They kind of
they are
play.
similar, and Seth is under contract,
Yeah,
so and he's a big contract, so I
yeah,
want,
and Ekblad's going for 7, 7, 7,
yeah,
8
yeah,
ish.
but he could make 10.
Yeah.
He could hit. He'll hit 10. I think.
I don't know. 10's a lot for him. You know.
I
I,
don't know. The only thing about him is his injuries, like history, right? Like he
yeah.
does miss. He does miss some time. This year he missed a lot for suspensions, but like
Yeah. He got some suspensions. So
but he has been like through injuries before. Like injuries have been his issue, right? Going so far with him.
mhm.
Yeah. So I don't know. But
I don't. That's a lot for Ekblad, in my opinion.
I don't think you can keep Bennett and Ekblad though. Like that's the
No,
thing. I
I
don't
would.
think
I mean, if I were Florida, I'd much rather have Bennett, and then you
yeah.
still have Jones already under contract. So, and they're very
Which yeah,
similar.
they kind of replaced them with Jones in a way,
Yeah,
and even though at the time they said publicly that now this is just Ekblad's still a big part, and Ekblad is still he's still on their first power play. Ekblad
yeah.
is the guy who runs that power play in a way.
And then,
So
but you also have guys on that team like Nate
sorry.
Schmidt, Forsling.
Yeah.
I mean, we were just talking about Mikola. Like they have these defensemen, so it's not like they're in like dire need of him to come back. He would be a great asset for them, but I don't know if they can afford to get him on that contract if
Yeah.
they've done it as well.
Yeah. He now the interesting thing about him is the team that is the favorite for him right now is Philadelphia.
Okay.
And
I mean, we need defensemen though. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
I don't know about 10 mil. We do have a decent amount of cap space, but
yeah,
10 mil is a lot for Ekblad. And I mean, Flyers have been notorious for signing some pretty bad contracts in the past. But
yeah.
I mean, Ekblad would be great for us. And I mean, hopefully we can get him to like an 8.5, maybe
Yeah,
9.
I think that's possible even still because I think that he is not young either. Like he's
Yeah.
not he's 30 at least, I think, or he's 30, right? But again, he's such like like when he's such a physical specimen. When he's good, he's great, like when he's not hurt, he's so
Yeah. No, he's
strong,
tremendous. Tremendous.
you
Any
know.
team could use him.
Yeah, and he would fit. I mean, he would obviously like immediately
And in
the Flyers.
Sanheim would be great together.
Oh yeah, he's kind of like Sanheim on steroids. No
Yeah,
pun intended. But yeah,
yeah,
that is kind of what he is. Like
yeah.
he's Sanheim, but he's like just like he's
Well,
up a couple levels, and
I agree. I
he's just
agree.
stronger. He's just physically stronger than Sanheim, and
Mhm.
yeah, and the Flyers' biggest issue last year was the power play, right? So
Horrible, horrible. It's
horrible
been for
power play.
years.
Yeah, yeah. So there's the Ekblad makes a ton of sense for them. I've also had the Rangers interested in him. For the Flyers, by the way, it's like an E3, and the Rangers is an E2. Um, I don't have anybody else for them yet, but I'm going to be working on that today when I'm talking to people around the world, around the league, because he'll be on my list tomorrow.
Okay.
But yeah, he's a no. So for the Flyers, from the Flyers' perspective, they can't if they can't get. They're also interested in Bennett,
Yeah,
but that's
be hard. Yeah.
unlikely, still. But and I'm Ehlers. I haven't heard much about Ehlers for them, but
I don't really care too much for him.
yeah, I mean and then
Any winger. I mean, we don't need wingers. We really
right. So
don't.
the strong centers in this draft are really
Yeah,
in
that's
this
why this
UFA.
draft. I would consider the Flyers maybe trade up a pick or two.
They're trying to do that.
Yeah,
They're trying to get to 4 at
because
least.
if we're at 4, we're guaranteed Frundell, um, Hagens, or Misa, one of
Yeah,
them, because I think the Islanders are going to take Schaefer and a 1.
they are pretty much. They've almost pretty much already kind of mailed it in. Kind of. I
Yeah,
heard that they're already working on promotional things with him. Like I talked to somebody in the organization. They're already
yeah,
doing posters and things like that. Not like they're just planning out like what they're gonna like the
yeah.
big billboards that'll be in Brooklyn. Come see the Islanders with
Mhm.
Schaefer on there and stuff like that. That's a
Yeah.
done deal with Schaefer.
I mean, imagine this though, or the Flyers could. Nah, I was gonna say I've been seeing some mock drafts where we get Martin, but yet again we don't need a winger.
Yeah,
But if Misa does get drafted by Philly, I think it'd be really intriguing if he
yeah,
does
yeah.
go to Penn State and he's very close to
Right,
Philly. So that'd
right.
be great to have him there. But yeah, no, I think if we do we should trade for a top 4 pick and get one of those centers. So we need them.
Yeah.
We really do.
I mean, what I've heard of the top 4 is definitely Schaefer first, Misa second to San
Yeah,
Jose.
yeah.
And people in San Jose are thrilled about that because they would have taken Misa at number 1. I was told if they gotten it because they just think
And
Misa's the
really,
guy.
I mean, who do they even have on D?
They're just they have so many holes, like they really do. Like they have to get like Celebrini's guy,
Yeah,
like
yeah, Well,
His
him and
Drysdale.
Smith, him and Smith.
Smith is there, but he's not quite like they. Mies is like a
Yeah,
slightly different level apparently.
yeah.
I don't know. Like they're gonna they need to make that move. So then, but I've heard that and Frundell at 3.
I don't
Um,
think Martone is going at 3. That's what someone just
yeah,
said.
no, I've heard Martone at
I think he could go
5.
top 5 for
I think
sure.
Martone at 5 and
Yeah,
Darnay at
yeah.
4, and then it really feels like Hagen's. The Flyers
I,
think they
I
could
love
get him.
Higgins. I mean, he's so skilled.
Yeah,
He already played college already, so I mean, he's played against a bunch of older guys, so he
yeah,
knows what it's like.
yeah,
Um, and he's from the Northeast area,
yeah,
so
right.
it would be great for us.
And he's the kind of guy you could see that was because he was for a while he was like the number 1 guy in this draft.
Yeah,
Like people were like,
yeah.
so he's been he feels
I'd
like
be
the kind of guy
sick.
that would fall that's been slipping like
Yep,
consistently for no fault of his own. Just like other players are just become more popular because they got tired of talking about Hagens. The scouts
mhm.
did. That's what it
And he
feels
was,
like.
and if you watched him at the World Juniors this year, I mean, he dominated. He really
He
did.
did.
Him and Leonard together. I mean, they were just a force. So
He did.
great shot. He's a great shot. Just his passing ability, his ability to even see guys where you wouldn't usually be able to see. He just finds them open and creates those scoring chances, which is what the Flyers need. We need more scoring chances for Michkov,
Yeah.
for Konechny. So I mean, imagine that line together:
Yeah.
Higgins, Michkov, and Konechny. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a great line. I'd be thrilled
Yeah.
with that line.
No,
So
for sure. And the Flyers are also in on this Russian kid that
yeah, I've
everybody's
heard.
trying to sign. But
Yeah,
I think that that's less likely now. He was definitely the Flyers were the favorite for a long time with him, but I think
yeah.
that some things could change. I don't know. That's apparently his agent is a problem. so
Okay.
he's really playing teams against each other more than and every agent does, but there's a difference when a guy says, "Yeah, you're the favorite," and then like
Yeah.
plays you against somebody else the next
So
day, kind of.
what you've heard recently? Are the Flyers pretty set on take? They're like definitely going to take a center and move up.
Not definitely a center,
Really?
but they want to move up. I mean, I think it's implied that they're going to get a center for sure.
Yeah.
But because I think when you look at those guys, there are centers there. That's
Yeah.
just what it is.
It's a
So
very center-driven draft. Like
except for
there's a lot
Mies
of
is a
centers.
winger, right? Mies is a winger.
Misa's a center.
He's a center. Okay, I thought he was a winger. Sorry. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah. So
95% sure he's a center.
yeah.
He's being a Martone, I think. Martone's the winger.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I think that I think that from what I've heard, they're real. I mean, obviously, everyone
Even
knows they're getting a
what
center.
about Frundell or Eklund too, right?
Yeah. Right. Right. He
So those two guys as well are very intriguing.
Yeah. Yeah. Eklund and Frundell are line mates.
Oh yeah, yes.
So that's
Yeah.
the other thing that people have thought about. Like, is there going to be like, there's two things with that. Like, can anybody make a deal to get both of them possibly
Yeah.
because they really are magic together, or are they both of their stocks rising because they're playing together? That's the other thing that people wonder
Yeah.
about. Like, you put him with another guy who's not one of the top picks in the league. Is he still so Frundell? Some of the Frundell issues have been about that,
Okay.
but everything appears like Frundell is. He was very good at the combines too, like really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw his interviews.
Yeah.
That's what he had to say. So
Yeah.
he wants to have the most Stanley Cup championships ever. So yeah.
He's a big kid and he's got a big head on him too. He's got like definitely ready to make a move. He's gonna be fun to watch. But yeah, I think I shouldn't say the Flyers will draft a center in the first with their first pick, but after that, and then like they have the two other
I
picks
don't
later.
care really after that. I hope with our first pick, we need a center.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we need a couple.
All the Flyers community agrees with that. We're
Yeah.
tired of not having
Yeah,
a number one center. So
yeah, definitely. They need a couple centers too, and maybe they can get one. If they can find somebody who's like underappreciated out there as a center who becomes a UFA, or if they go for like the other is Rossi. They've been
yeah, Marco, yeah.
They've been in rumors.
But isn't like I've seen some of the mock trades and like it seems like people would give up a lot for him.
Yeah, those mock trades are nothing to like. I mean, they are just people like completely speculating. They haven't gotten to anything like that yet. I've been told. So I don't think that
What about Giroux? What if the Flyers re-sign Giroux?
That's an interesting. Yes, because Giroux's talks are not going well in Ottawa right now.
I would love to have him back.
I would too. I would too. And the reason I would love to have him back is because, why not just that? He's a great guy and he's really great in the locker room, obviously. But also, he has what Michkov needs to learn. Like
Yeah,
that's like that, and he would be the perfect person to put with Michkov and talk and teach him. Like
100%
because
agree.
Giroux learned that from Yager.
Mm,
Giroux learned like Giroux was good, but then when Yager got to Philly for that brief period of time, like Yager taught Giroux how to like make every shift count. And
yeah.
Giroux talked about that all the time. Like I talked about that before
I
many times.
mean, the shifts against Pittsburgh, that all happened because of Yager with that poach check.
Yeah, yeah,
So, and then,
yeah. You're right.
yeah.
That's
So,
funny.
I
Yep.
would love to have him back. I'm
Yeah.
sure. I don't know what he's really asking for. I'm sure he'll take maybe a little cut if he comes back to Philly.
Yeah, I think he would.
Yeah, and he probably still has his home here. He knows the area. The fans love him.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah.
legend here. So I
Right.
don't. He's not going to get the C back, but I mean, he'll still be the leader too.
But I
So
wonder how high you'd have to go, like, and how many years you'd have to go with him. Like, that's the question.
yeah, I mean,
Because
maybe like two or three, maybe two, or you
two would
said
have to two. You'd have to go like around 8 or 9.
okay, okay,
If you went like 6 or so, you could probably get to 7 or 6. But depending on whether he wants to come back or not. Like if
yeah,
he and his wife have lived here before, so they know this whole thing. Like you said, I think they have a shore house in Avalon.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and yeah, so there's a lot of places, like you say, like all so many flyers. I see Justin Williams walking on the beach here all the time. Justin Williams,
yeah.
has a shore house
Williams
right
has
in
a
my
place.
yeah.
I know Matthias Samuelson. He's from like my area, so he has a place here.
Yep.
A lot
Yep.
of NBA guys. A lot of
Oh
the
yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Briere
nice
even has a
to
place
live.
in.
So
Yeah.
a lot of athletes like coming to the shore and being in Philly. It's close to everything.
Yeah. No, it is. And people love it. So it's fun to see like old guys like Justin Williams who was here for but really made his name in Carolina.
Exactly. Yeah.
But he still lives here now. So yeah, I mean they're going to be a team to watch out for as well, obviously on the UFA market. But I think they have to be incredibly strategic about it,
I agree.
and
I agree.
it's going to be and I think that they might look more towards the trade market than the UFA market in for most case. Like they might go for the one maybe UFA like Ekblad would be great,
Hmm.
but then after that I think
That's fine. I mean,
yeah
as
I
long
think they
as
would go
some move, at least
yeah
one, I'm fine with that.
I'm with you, and I think a guy like Rossi or Brock Besser.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about him. I mean, also a winger as well, but
Yeah,
I mean, he's a goal scorer. He's a pure
right. He's
goal
a goal
scorer.
scorer too. Yeah.
He'd be huge for the power play. I mean, huge.
Yep.
Imagine him on one side and then Michkov on the other side, and maybe Ekblad up top. Or
Yep.
so. I
Right.
mean,
Exactly. Imagine that.
yeah,
Gavrikov, someone's asking for in the chat room. He's going to be leaving LA. Yeah. He's not. They're not going to get a deal done for him. He wants a lot. Um. But he's worth a lot too. He's definitely a good player, but I don't know if he's worth what he wants. Like I could see him circling back to LA because as of right now, LA sort of has him not in their plans, is what I've been told. So they really think that, and LA wants to, like I said, make a big push, but they might need that money for someone else, and that's what they're thinking in their head. So, but Gavrikov's their best defenseman, I think. So that's a tough one. But that's all the time we have for today. Um, it was fun. Have a great weekend, everybody, and remember, without the buzz, it is just hockey. And thank you, Luke, as always, for joining us.
it's been a pleasure.
And we will talk to you guys